Welcome back in. We're getting really close to the spring fishing season taking off, and that has the Ohio Division of Wildlife getting ready. Sarah Schott is back with us this afternoon so we can talk more about some rainbow trout and walleye. And she brought props. What's his name?
It is a rainbow trout raised at one of our Castalia State fish hatcheries. He's about a year old, and about 100,000 of these guys are going to be released in 90 ponds and lakes across Ohio, starting a couple weeks ago and then into late May.
So I didn't realize this, but this is a cold water type fishing situation. So in the ponds and lakes around the area, not in Lake Erie, right?
Correct, not in Lake Erie. These trout are being released into relatively smaller ponds and smaller lakes. The idea is we're trying to bring fishing opportunities to people who maybe can't get to Lake Erie, or places where the city bus will take them to this location. So we're trying to bring this fishing opportunity to those smaller lakes and ponds, often within city limits. New this year, we're releasing these guys at Stoner Pond and Star Lake. So that'll be a new opportunity for Lucas County residents.
The beautiful rainbow, you can see the rainbow on the side there with the trout.
Yeah, that's where they get their name, that kind of pink sheen. Some older fish will have that pink and more greens, but that's where they get their name from.
Where do they come from? More out west?
Yes, they are a native fish. A lot of our trout species are native to the western United States. That's where they have those cold streams, those cold rivers. It's all snow melt.
Yeah.
So the only reason that we can actually raise these guys at Castalia State Hatchery over in Erie County is because, if you've ever heard of the blue hole out there, it's an underwater aquifer that has constant cold water coming out of it. So these guys actually thrive out there.
So what happens in the summertime when these lakes that they're in start getting warm? Do they not, they die?
They won't survive in warmer water, but hopefully by the time it gets warmer, the thought process is these guys have all been caught, take home, and they're on a dinner plate somewhere and being enjoyed by a family. That's kind of our goal there. We don't release them into the summer months because it's too warm for them.
Want to mention that you must have a license if you're older than 16 years old, and the limit on the trout is 5.
Yes.
Now let's turn it to walleye. I just noticed today that the temperature has gone down in the Maumee River again because it's so cold, 39 degrees, which is not real conducive to the spawning activity. But what's happening? What's the latest with that?
Yeah, that colder weather will slow things down a little bit, but it'll probably warm up, fingers crossed, right? Hopefully soon, and then that activity will kick up. Last week it was really warm. We had great water temperatures, a lot of people out there enjoying the walleye run, and generally the walleye run will continue through the month of April. So this is really only the beginning. We're expecting it to heat up some more.
So what I mentioned with that, the limit of 6 per day. If you're going out the Maumee River, how has the year been? How has the fishing been so far? What kind of fish are they getting? Are they good size? Are they healthy? Or are things not really picking up just yet?
Yeah, not really far enough into the season to make a judgment call on that, I would say. But we have seen some pictures of folks with some good sized fish. A lot of fish in the 15, 16, 17, 18-inch range. So those fish are a 2-year age class. So we're looking at those fish being hatched in the 2023 year.
Is this just mostly the Maumee River in the watershed, or are there other, like Sandusky River and other parts of northwest Ohio, actually have good walleye activity?
Yeah, so the walleye run is specific to the Sandusky and Maumee rivers. There is nothing else like it in arguably the world, which makes it so cool that we have this right in our backyards. Walleye are actually a migratory species. A lot of people don't realize this. They actually migrate to the western side of Lake Erie, specifically the Maumee and the Sandusky rivers, to spawn, to lay their eggs, and then those little eggs will hatch and they'll go out into the lake. But we actually know this through a telemetry system called GLaDOS, and we've tagged walleye and we've watched them move throughout the lake during the cycle of a year. And yeah, we got it on the screen there. So what you're seeing is all of those fish are congregated in western Lake Erie. And then after they spawn, they will actually move out to the eastern part of the lake. Some will stay on the Lake Erie Islands, but some are going all the way to New York. And they kind of ping pong around the lake, and then this time next year, they'll shoot right back. So they do that every year. It's really neat.
How are the years different for walleye fishing? It depends on weather or the breeding. How does that work?
Yeah, it'll be very weather dependent. If we have a lot of rain and a lot of wind and it's just not great weather weather for the anglers to get out there, that'll hold some fishing back. And these up and down weather fluctuations, that can have a little bit of an impact on it. But as long as we're getting those warmer water temperatures that are driving the fish, into the rivers, they're going to lay their eggs, they're going to spawn, and then they'll go back out into the lake.
You're always such a joy to talk to because you just have so much knowledge, but also really topical things that around this area where people love wildlife and hunting and fishing. You're a wealth of information. Thanks for bringing your little rainbow trout in today.
Yeah, we're going to go drop him off at the pond back near where he came from. So
be on somebody's dinner plate in a few weeks anyway.
Exactly.
Thank you, Sarah.